Alright, with practice and mental preparation, this tutorial will teach you how to do Airflare 1.5s. Alright, first thing you want to do before you get started is get warmed up and stretch out. It's important to stretch out your whole body. Stretch out your legs, your arms, your wrists, your core. To see a further guide on stretching, click the annotation below or see the link in the description. But for now, we're going to get started with learning Airflare 1.5s. Now, a good way to think about the Airflare 1.5 is a simple Airflare to Windmill, but with no hands. So a good prerequisite is at least one Airflare and at least one Windmill. To see a complete tutorial on Airflare or Windmill, click the annotations below or see the link in the description. So if you slowly break this move down, you'll better understand how to do it and understand where it got the term 1.5. It's basically one Airflare with 1/2 of an extra turn, hence the 0.5. But instead of landing on any arms, you'll be rolling onto your shoulder and upper back. The same shoulder to the arm that you use to jump off of your Airflare. So it's closer to a 360 than a 540. Now, a more comfortable way to get the 1.5 without just going for it all the time is to slowly transition from an Airflare to a Windmill to an Airflare to a Windmill with no hands, or basically just a 1.5. Now, I spin counterclockwise, so if you spin clockwise, just use opposite arms and legs. So breaking down the Airflare to Windmill, I will first normally land on my right arm, but then when I put my left arm down, I will crunch it and roll onto my upper back and shoulders. Be sure when practicing Airflare to Windmill to get used to staying tight and finding a comfortable landing spot on your upper shoulders and back, as well as, most importantly, continuing your momentum with your left leg or your swooping leg, so right leg if you're going clockwise. By learning to properly continue our momentum, we will prevent ourselves from extra pain and injury when actually performing the Airflare 1.5, so all of our weight will not be thrashing down on one spot, but we'll be continuing through our body, through our motion, into our windmills, or our next power move. So once you can safely do one Airflare to Windmill, a next step you can take to safely progress is by doing an Airflare to Windmill, but this time we'll only be putting one arm down to guide us. Put down the catching arm to your first Airflare, but keep the second arm crunched in, and roll onto your upper shoulder and back. Now, to progress from here, we'll be slowly lightening up on our right arm until we do not put any arms down at all, and we're doing a 1.5. But because we're not putting any arms down, there's a few more things you should take note about. The first thing is, because we are not putting any arms down, we may need to turn faster. One way to help speed up the rotation is by crunching the swooping leg, the left leg if you're going counterclockwise or the right leg if you're going clockwise. Also, just like the Airflare, it helps to get extra clearance by using the swooping leg to swoop under and up to give you maximum lift and more air time. And remember, continue your momentum. Also, when I'm doing the Airflare 1.5, I'm going to be torquing the arm that I'm going to be jumping off of, torquing it around, keeping it extra tight, crunching it in, and rolling onto my shoulder. Finally, notice how I do not hesitate, but torque my upper body fast as well. That way, when I'm approximately halfway there, I can spot my landing. Finally, notice how my swooping leg is slightly ahead of my launching arm right after takeoff, but then, when I'm coming to my landing, they're pretty much in sync due to the quick torque of my upper body. And there you have it. I hope this tutorial helped you guys out. Now, mastering this move may take time and practice, so remember, stay positive and determined, keep practicing, and don't give up. And remember, don't forget to subscribe to Pygmy123. You'll make me really happy. Thanks.